Hi, this is Emily with Park Street. I'm here today with Michael Rieck, the Vice President of Sales for Stillhouse Spirits Company. Michael, thanks for being here today.
Emily, great to see you again. Thanks for having me.
Can you give our viewers a little background on your history in the industry?
Sure. I've been on every tier of the industry, from restaurant business, hotels, retail, to distribution. I started in the sales side of our industry with what is now Southern Wine and Spirits in Pennsylvania a long, long time ago. Went to work for a company called Sheffield in Somerset, which is now Diageo and Hennessy. Worked for Charmer Industries, which is now Empire Merchants. a lot of that.
Right? A lot of change.
Empire Merchants in New York for a pretty large number of years, and then worked for Bacardi in sales and then in field marketing for a number of years, and then started this crusade for small brands with De Leon Tequila a number of years ago, which evolved to my own company, Blackheath Beverage Group, with a number of partners. And then that's where I met Brad Beckerman, the owner and developer, CEO of Stillhouse Spirits Company, which is what we're talking about here today.
Tell me a little bit about Stillhouse and its history and where it is today.
Certainly. So my life with Stillhouse started when it was still in a glass jug in 2012-13 at Blackheath Beverage Group. Brad Beckerman brought it to me, wanting to join our shared sales platform. And we took the relaunch, during his relaunch, we took it to market. And he quickly realized that the brand and the category needed a real shake. So he took about a year and a half to reposition, redesign, and reestablish the brand in the red can and the black can, and now the white can that you see it in lots of stores all over the United States. He was a client of mine, and then at one point along the way, he asked me to come in and run sales for him, and I, one of those old stories, made me an offer that myself and my team couldn't refuse. So we did, and we've been doing that for about 3 years now. So we took it from an idea and a dream in February of 2016, which means 0 cases,
Sure.
to 20,000 cases in the first year and north of 50,000 cases in the third year.
All right.
Yeah, we've done a pretty good job of developing the brand over a short period of time.
All right. So what was one, would you say, key differentiating strategy that you used to build Stillhouse?
So for us, we early on recognized that our real point of differentiation was our packaging. The stainless steel can is a game changer, and we're still the only brand that's in that kind of package. There are lots of great products in the industry. There are lots of great flavored whiskeys. There's really nice bourbons in the industry, but we have all those great attributes. We have that point of differentiation, that's the can. And early on, our retailers and our distributors keyed on that and said, you have to drive that. Drive that first, and then we'll see what happens. So we came up with a very aggressive display programming concept for getting the brand to the floor, whether that be in a 4-case display bin or a 10-case stack out on the floor. And that was what gave us the opportunity to get in the hands of the consumer. And we find that once we get in the hands of the consumer has a high likelihood of giving us a try. And the last 2.5, 3 years have borne that out.
So let's say I'm a new brand, right? How would I go about getting one of those coveted display areas and bins and end caps?
Well, you mind if I use a real life example that we used?
Not at all.
So, mid-year 2018, we were in a brand that was growing rapidly, and we were offered an opportunity to present to Walmart. Walmart is a huge customer. You're not allowed a mistake in Walmart. You have to be perfect first. And they gave us, we went and had a meeting with them, and our point of differentiation clicked with their need state perfectly. So we had a very good beginning opportunity. So when we sat with them, they said, we'd really like to get started with you. Our cut in is 9 months for the shelf. Or you can go to the floor in a couple of test markets and test it out. In that strategy is inherent risk, because if the test on the floor doesn't work, then you don't get the shelf. But we felt, based on the data we had and the history we had with other key customers, that if we got to the floor, we were going to win. So we presented to them in late June, and by the end of August, we were in 3 key states. We were in Florida, Illinois, and Missouri on the floor with them. So what we did is take a risk to drive the opportunity of getting our brand touched by Walmart consumers. And that proved out to be terrifically successful. We built aggressive display programming with them integrating our distributor into the process, and I can't stress that enough.
Mhm.
Integrating distributor into the process is absolutely critical. We wrote the incentives for the merchandisers and sales incentives for the sales force. We made special packaging for Walmart. We had multiple layers of display type materials depending on the size of the store and the nature of the state and the laws of the state. So we really catered to their needs. And it can't be overstated to go from an idea, a concept, a sales pitch in June to on the floor in 3 of Walmart's most important markets in 3 months is light speed in our industry. And we really are proud of that. Now, today, sitting here in May of 2019, we are in a process of cutting into 10 more states now on the shelf.
All
So
right.
because of our test was actually validated, which is really exciting.
So would it be fair to say that strategy sort of boils down to knowing what your goal retailer needs, or knowing how to work with them, doing your research and your homework?
I think that's absolutely. Thanks for that. That's very good. Yeah. No, that is absolutely the point. I have a 5-year-old, so I shop Walmart a lot, and I see they're an activity-based store. So when but there's to say everything they do and everything they feature and everything they promote is pushed to the floor, and so if you can be there, you can win because you're in the face of the consumer right out of the box. So what we did was make our goal match their need state, and that worked really, really well for us.
And how would you recommend, right? Because obviously not all brands are going to be able to work with Walmart. It's a small percentage, I would say, that can work with Walmart. So what if you're working with smaller retailers? How would you go about, building relationships with them?
So I guess there's a couple of things. The first thing is relationship with your key distributor is in a marketplace is critical. That you have to have that, because if the distributor does not align and behind you in that effort, it makes it much more difficult. Second thing is having a talented sales force on the street. I'm proud to say that we've had a very talented sales force on the street for Stillhouse for a long time. So our team inherently had relationships from past jobs, past sales, past lives. And I think critical to that is always you can have a relationship. You can be friendly. You can bring them donuts and coffee when they open the store. But if you don't follow through on the commitment you make to that retailer day in, day out by way of support, promotion, demo, tastings, then you're likely, doesn't matter what you're selling them, they're likely not to answer your phone call for the appointment. So while those things sound basic, they are fundamental to success, and you have to start there. The sell to a small carriage store in Naples, Florida is very different than selling to Walmart in Bentonville. But the true principles stay the same. The principle of aligning the customer's need state with our desired outcome are fundamental. So if you're walking to a small carriage store, he's probably likely not to give you a 10-case display. But with the right programming and the right incentives and the right demo support, maybe you'll get an eye-level shelf to the right of Jack Daniels, which for our brand being a Tennessee whiskey, being to the right of Jack Daniels is nirvana. Right? That's where you want to be. And that might be the win in that store, because the consumer who's walking in looking at the shelf is going to look at Jack and then look at ours and go, what's that? And again, if they touch our can, the chances are they're going to buy it. And so you've got to be flexible enough to align the need state of the customer with your desired outcome. And it may be different. And it obviously is very different from Walmart to the liquor store down the street.
So talk about how Stillhouse scaled very quickly. So how did you handle pricing? Did you modify it? Did you keep it consistent as you went?
Pricing is a tricky question because the local liquor store down the street will work on a different margin structure than the larger chain-oriented retail store in any given market. So what we did is we pulled levers inside the bigger stores to give them aggressive pricing, but at the same time made it credible that when a smaller retailer looked at the shelf price or looked at the advertised price in a Bevmo or a Total Wine, they saw $21, $22.99, and then they saw a scan occasionally to $19.99. We offered those same tools to the small retailer. Now they were delivered differently and the mechanisms are different from market to market, but at the same time, we were able to maintain price integrity and never tell a story that wasn't 100% true to a customer. So when you look at, I'm proud to say that when you look at our pricing around the country on our black bourbon, our floor price is $24.99. Our floor price on our clear corn whiskeys, our flavored whiskeys, is $19.99, and those are pulsed program to program, quarter to quarter. And so far, it's one of those knock on wood things.
Yeah.
The retailers are happy, and the consumers adopting it at those price structures. So it's working.
Okay. Well, Michael, thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to come talk with us. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Happy to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching.